My thoughts with AI, by the way, is not I don't expect people to agree with every word that I say. I'm not right about everything. I'm not wrong about everything. These are opinions and feelings, and I like the discourse and conversation. But holy crap, there are some people that are so staunchly against the idea of AI that it makes you wonder about their own sanity. They think the world is going to collapse because AI is there to assist and, I don't know, make things easier for the people working on whatever it's being utilized for. Holy crap. That's like saying you shouldn't allow tires for cars that spin because it makes the car move faster. And that's dangerous because it could bump into something. Anyways, I said, now PC gamer, they're trying so hard to knock AI. It's not working. Their attempts to attack will grow wilder as they continue to feel powerless. And this was just the title of the article. The article is insane in itself, but here's the title from PC Gamer. It's more important than ever to call out developers for egregious AI usage next year if we want video games to remain interesting. So I hear that and I'm like, so you're telling me just from this title, if AI is to be utilized across the board from these developers, that automatically video games will not be interesting anymore. I got some real bad news for this author, Mollie Taylor, that the vast majority of games being used, whether it be single A, double A, or triple A, currently in 2025 and even years before this, have been utilizing AI in some way, shape, or form or another. So if she thinks that it's like a new thing that needs to be stopped, I don't know what to tell her, but no, this is something that's just been there for a long time and it's only getting better. And that's not a bad thing. Continues saying, we're being limit tested, and I fear we're too okay with it all right now. Oh no, God, I am growing so weary of AI. Glints of human creation chipped away at with just a loading screen here or just a couple of voice lines there. Flaws and oddities that aren't the result of a person's error, but a computer that doesn't understand what or why it's wrong in the first place. So this is fear mongering. This is, hey, just trust these straw man arguments of this is what AI is being used for. This is the problem with it and how gaming is going to be terrible. Where I would argue, what about what AI is being used for that you don't notice that is making the games infinitely better? Or the times it's being used as a time saver, saving weeks of work and coding for remedial tasks that you wouldn't even notice in the first place when you're playing the game. What about those things? How about you talk about that stuff? Oh, that doesn't make a good headline. That doesn't make it seem like it's bad. So let's ignore that stuff. This year, it feels like studios have been limit testing exactly what they can get away with, whether they can save a few pennies by getting a computer to whip up a character portrait or a quick musical sting without us lot at home kicking up too much of a fuss. What's the problem with, like, if it's good music, what's the problem with it? Now, I will say, if you're listening to it and you're like, oh, this sounds like AI. I don't like it. It just, there's something about the hook isn't catching me. That's different. But if it's something you can't tell and it's good, who are you to argue different about it? And if it's the artist's vision of putting it into the game, then the creator making the game with it, isn't it still their product at the end of the day? They're putting it together. Who are you to say they can't do that? Who are you to say what the lines are that they're allowed to cross and which ones they aren't when they're creating their game? What's the problem with a good game if it uses things to make it better? I thought these people were all about diversity because diversity makes things better. Isn't that what they always say? The multiple backgrounds and stuff like that makes things better. Oh, AI makes it better. Oh, clankers are bad though. So no. The worst part, I fear it's working. What a cell phone. And it's only going to get more egregious if we continue to wave off its currently limited use. I will be the first one to bitch about a game if it heavily uses AI and it sucks. I'd be like, yeah, this is fucked. They took a property and just slapped AI over it, and they pushed it forward and sold it. I'd have issues with that. No different than I have with Dragon Age of Veilguard getting co-opted by DEI nonsense and agenda pushing woke tards, completely invading the fantasy world with transgender and non-binary. Like, this is a fantastical, like, monster driven game. What does that stuff have to do with it? I'd say the same thing about if AI comes into something and starts doing something that's just nonsense. I'd be like, what are we doing? There's no heart in this game. This is boring. So this author's concern is that if you don't put guardrails on it right now, if you don't stop this, it's going to turn into a runaway train. And the AI is just going to take over the entire game industry. Developers are going to be put out of jobs. No one's going to be working anywhere. And Skynet is just going to create every game from now on moving forward. That will never happen. Will never happen. There might be specific studios where that happens, but there will always be independent creators that want to code things themselves, that don't want to implement it to the point of that. But if you're a developer, and I've spoken to many developers in the background about this behind the scenes, where they're like, yeah, the people that are complaining about AI have no idea what AI is even being used for when it comes to creating the games. They're just like, ooh, that's a scary artificial intelligence. Scary words. We don't like those words. We don't, not that it has anything to do with the remedial task that saves us weeks and months of time to coding. No. It's just scary. So it's bad. These people have no idea what a game actually even involves. I myself am not absolved of this dismissive behavior. I'm part of the problem. I've played several demos over the last couple of years that sport generative AI for its capsule image, M-, a necessary component to put your game up on Steam Store, but one that ultimately isn't all that important to the likes of you and me. Oh, okay. What's the problem then? I bought and played several hours of Liar's Bar, a game that utilizes AI voices for its characters, something that at the time I had excused as a byproduct of a dirt cheap asset flip, one which just happened to be the right amount of stupid fun for a quick late night post-booze endeavor with your Discord pals. A game where posts asking for the developer to use real voice acting are met with such comments such as SJW behavior and seethe. Yeah, because SJWs are all about attacking anyone that uses AI. So seethe. Exactly. That would be me as a developer too. I'd be like, go pound sand. What get out of here. There's this strange downward spiral where people go from brushing off AI's inclusion to actively rallying against people who call out its use. I have to wonder if it's because people don't exactly vibe with having the things they enjoyed criticized for something that they themselves deep down don't approve of. Just look at how divisive Arc Raiders has been. I haven't played it myself. Well, okay, here we go again. But it has taken over the lives of just about every person in my friendship group. It's a game that also utilizes AI voices, M-, built upon real voice actors and with their contractual consent so that Embark doesn't need to have someone come in every time it creates new items for the game. Something that, for the most part, people seem happy to deal with, even when things sound a little janky as a result. What is your argument here? You're saying AI is bad. Here's a game I haven't played. Here's a game that I haven't played that utilizes it. And here's a game that I haven't played that utilizes it. That people are saying it's fine. How is that proving your point? Get real. As Wes wrote earlier this year, the game is emblematic of how muddy the whole thing is. Sure, it's not generative AI in the broadest sense, but it ultimately still very much sets up the potential to put these actors out of a repeat gig. Oh, so it's all about making sure they still have a job even when they're not needed. Gotcha. So we finally get to the truth of why AI is bad. It's not because the games are going to be generic. No. We finally get the truth. What are we? A quarter of the way down this? They're saying everything bad about it. No. The real reason they're taking our jobs. It's not generative AI, but ultimately it's a potential gig. And as Wes put it, much of the unease around AI is also simply about it putting people out of their jobs. Chicken or gerbs. That's the problem with it, I guess. I've made small jabs and embarks methods among some of the bigger arc raiders and joyers in my friends group and have been met with a bit of hostility in return. Calling these things out makes people uncomfortable and annoyed. And I get it. I don't like having the shit I enjoyed called out for its issues either. You said it's an issue. You have not explained why it's an issue, except for saying it puts people out of jobs. Again, I don't care. I don't care. There is a McDonald's in Texas right now. It exists that has 0 humans working there. It is 100% robotic. If I am hungry and want a burger, I'm not going to complain and write a letter to McDonald's corporate saying, hey, you put machines in this McDonald's and there's no people there. I would go to that McDonald's and say, yeah, give me my fucking Big Mac and fries, bro. I don't care how it gets into my car. I just want to eat it, man. I don't care. I really don't. This is virtue signaling. This is, hey guys, I care. I want virtue points. I care about you. No, you don't. No, you don't. But it's important. Embark has the money to get these. Oh, here we go. So the communists going right at capitalism. They have the money. Who cares? Again, if they can do it cheaper and nobody notices or bothers them, what's the problem with it? They have the money to get these voice actors back in the studio every few months to belt out a few lines. That sounds so useless. What if they live in other states? What if they live in other countries? You're going to fly them in every time to record 3 lines? What? But it doesn't. Activision more than has the money to hire real artists for its calling cards in Call of Duty. Who cares? Again, who cares? But 3 game releases later, and nothing has changed. Almost like they've realized that nobody cares except the people virtue signaling. Like I said, developers have been picking and choosing its smallest, least integral pockets to stuff AI into. Like when you're a kid and you sneak one chocolate out of the box. No, this is finding a faster way to do things. It's more conducive to work-life balance. Aren't you the same fuckers that are always against crunch time? They finally found a way to help with making it more, I don't know, doable in the time that they're at work. And now that's a problem for you? People may not notice. And if they do, they probably don't care. It's one chocolate. This is a terrible, terrible comparison. But maybe if nobody says anything, you can take a second chocolate and a third. Before you know it, the box is empty. Next year, we have a very real chance of seeing the consequences of our permissiveness. Splash screens become background art, character designs, and even paid cosmetics. Okay, and if people are enjoying it and buying it, have at it. Let the open free market decide. And if people play it and they're like, this is horrible, I don't want to, it will not be successful. What is the problem? Am I going crazy here? I'm trying my best to understand the other side of the story. I just don't see it. Developers pushing that boat out just a little bit more, grabbing just one more chocolate out of the box and hopes people continue to say nothing. So this person is now advocating for people to work overtime forever at these companies and crunch to get things done. That's what I'm hearing here. Again, it all comes back to the political mindset of big corpo bad, small employees good, and they're screwing people over because they have all the money and they're refusing to pay people the money. And that's the problem with all this. Unfortunately, it's our jobs to call this stuff out. Almost like you're an activist and you have an agenda to push. The NPC update just went in the back of your head. It is my job to now be against AI. Discuss it online. Vote with your wallet and demand better. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If there's a problem with it, discuss online, vote with your wallet, and demand better. But what if it's fine? What if it's better than what it was? Have you thought about that? Why is that never an option? Why is, oh, it's better than it was, not on the table here? What are you afraid of? In a landscape where thousands of people are losing their jobs, there it is. Again, the real reason is all about the jobs. That's all it comes down to. I want to protect my buddies in the industry. I want to make sure we keep this good thing, this racket we got going, that we keep it going, and we keep the bus on the wheels, and the wagon doesn't fall apart. I'm not exactly jonesing to see that number increasing in favor of stuff slapped together by a computer. That's not how AI works. Maybe someday it will be. But right now, there's a tremendous amount of human intervention, of utilizing AI in a way to create the art and inserting it into the game. These people don't understand how the development process even works. They think you just tell ChatGPT, hey, create me a game called Clair Obscure Expedition 33 and make it really good. And make sure it's Game of the Year material. Enter. And there it is. There's my game. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. That's what these people think it does. Am I going to become incredibly annoying by huffing and puffing every time something that has and should be done by a human isn't? Well, so now you're the arbiter of truth in deciding what should and should not be done by a human. Someone that has no idea how to develop a game. Yikes. Yes, but I'd rather be that friend advocating for a human touch than someone who's only asking why it's this way when it's too late. Then why don't you go to develop a game then? If you're so mad at these developers and you think it's so easy to do this stuff, stop writing your articles and learn to code and come back to me in 3 years. Tell me how easy it is, how much better it is that you're not using AI. Please, I'm curious. Because if we're not careful, video games are going to become very safe, very boring, very unhuman. You know what? I actually agree wholeheartedly with this last line here, but not because of AI. My concern is external factors and forces, government intervention, censorship. That's my concern with it going this road, not AI. AI, the guardrails on AI might create very safe, very boring, very unhuman. Yeah, I agree with that. Again, that comes to censorship and intervention from other third parties and other forces outside unnaturally interjecting themselves into the situation. But AI? No, AI is not the issue here. It's the censorship that's the problem. So this is Mollie Taylor who wrote this. I couldn't help but do a little bit of research and find out a little bit more about this character. So we got Mollie Taylor, again, never harass these people or anything like that. I just think it's very curious every time, not just one, 2 nose rings and whatever the fuck that is in her mouth going on there with the beads and everything. She definitely is signaling to her fellow wokies that she is one with you. This is her on social media on X. These posts are protected. Oh, gee, I wonder why. And England, United Kingdom. This sounds like somebody that is would be behind Keir Starmer and be like, yes, please censor us more, daddy government. Please. We can't think for ourselves. We need you to tell us what's okay, what's not. Tell these big evil corpos that they aren't allowed to use AI. Hold them back. Stop them from creating great things and saving them time and stress and going out of business. No. Force them to pay for employees. Force them to work overtime, ridiculous hours. Force them to spend ungodly amounts of money on these games just to hopefully make $1 at the end of the day. This is hysterical. And oh, by the way, she's not alone. It's just one article. Many of these articles are coming out there right now all at once, like a coordinated, as usual, attack against the industry, against AI, trying to get people on board, pick up their torches and get mad at AI. AI is the future. And I trust in the developers to have passion and care to make a unique experience in conjunction with utilizing AI to get there. I have zero issues whatsoever. If the game is fun, that's great. I don't go to the ball game and order a hot dog, and then the hot dog vendor gives me the hot dog, and I say, "Excuse me, sir, what's in this hot dog before I eat it?" I'm at the game to have a good time and have a hot dog at the game. I don't give a shit how the hot dog was made. I just want to enjoy the hot dog and watch the baseball game. To me, that's what AI is. If the game is fun, I am there to enjoy it. I don't give a shit how it's made. Now, if it tastes disgusting, like the hot dog, if it's gross, I'll be like, the fuck's in this? Of course. That's how this works. But miss me with this. Oh, AI is bad. No, it's not. No, it's not. Of course you do, Batman. Of course. I know how hot dogs are made, and I still eat them. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't necessarily know, but from what I've heard, I don't want to know more. I just want to enjoy them. But these are the same people that are like hardcore, like crunchy, earthy vegans. They're just like, oh, I want to know like how organic is my matcha, which, by the way, very organic, in case you're wondering.